You really know how to f someone over. And I was the willing dupe. But I know you can't sleep at night. Because the words... One day, I will kill you.
Hey guys. Well, got some problems. The Husqvarna finally gave up the ghost. Not the motor this time. Motor's good. Motor's strong. Blades aren't engaging. And not only the blades not engaging, the clutch is either locked up. Actually, no, the clutch is not locked up. Sorry. Clutch is not locked up. Clutch will not lock up. So the electric PTO is not engaging. So let's run some tests and see if we got voltage going to that clutch. And if there's voltage going to the clutch, then it can only be one thing, and that's the electric PTO. So let's check for voltage. All right, guys. So we've got the voltage tester hooked up to the power to the clutch. And we're going to see if we get direct current. We should have something over 10 volts. I know I ran this before low on voltage, and it will still engage the clutch at voltages higher than about 10. Anything lower than 10, it will not engage that clutch. So we're looking for a voltage over 10. So let's see if we get that. We've got the PTO shut off. This is on. So we'll see what we get here when we fire it up. Charging system is working as well, so there you go. And that's off again, so key off. And it looks like the clutch has to come off. We'll pull that clutch off, and I doubt that it's going to be a fix. You're not going to be able to fix that clutch, and you need to pick up another clutch for about $100–150. So we'll pull that clutch off and see what we end up with. Hey guys, all right. Hey, look at this thing. What a piece of junk. I've been operating with this thing for a little while here. So you guys can see this. I'll try to put it in the view. It's this 3-legged tripod that you move the fucking legs on it. And already what's happened is, you see this little ball here, it's wore out already. It's not like I use it a whole lot. Okay, it's okay there. Stiff enough there. You put this on here, look at it. It just flops on. Now imagine a phone camera stuck on there. It's a piece of junk. Okay, to buy something new. In the meantime, I got it's this bendy, like a coat hanger thing, kind of holding you up there. So, what do we got? What do we got? Got a couple clutches. So to conclude this project, not much of a project, basically electric PTO clutch shit the bed. So what do we got? See if I can keep you in view, okay? As I was saying before, let's change this to ohms. Can you guys see that? You can't see anything, but if I hold it up here, you're going to be able to see a number, maybe. Okay, right there. No, you can't see anything. Take my word for it. Okay, so here's a new one. Got this shipped out by through eBay. A replacement clutch. This guy, the exact replacement through Husqvarna, $350. A little bit tough to operate that mower without a clutch. $350. I guess if you had to get going, you'd pay the $350. Anyway, this one through eBay, $115. It's, I guess I'll find out when I put it on, but it looks to be identical basically. There's a little bit of a difference here, and that's in the restrainer. They've got that kind of notched out. We'll see how that fits up. Bearing is, yeah, bearing's good. This one, bearing is, it could very well be that the bearing on this one overheated, and that may have been what screwed up the the field winding inside that electromagnet. You know what we'll do later on, since I know that this one's garbage, let's take this apart and we can have a look inside there, just as a kind of a curiosity type deal. Looks like I'll have to let these 4 rivets go. Just drill those rivets out and we can take the top off this. Anyway, so let's check this out. So here we go. Stick our probes in. We're going to check for somewhere between, I guess, 3 and 4 ohms. Here we go. You guys can see that. OL, open line, open loop, however you want to call it. That essentially means is there's a break somewhere between here and between here. There's no circuit. Now let's go to the new clutch. Already we're getting a reading. And we're going to see where this is going to end up. And here we are. Guys, have a look at that. Probably if I turn the light off, it'd be easier. How about there? 3.2 ohms. So this one is good. Now, I just took some kind of rough measurements. It looks to be identical as far as depth for the crankshaft to drop in. There's a key in there that fits on the slide keyway on the crankshaft, which looks to be the same. Everything looks to be the same. So all that's left to do next is to bolt it up. And this one did have a little damage, by the way, and I don't think it's going to make any difference. It's just in the notch here where your plug-in connects. If that's the only thing that there's, you know, if that's the only problem, I'm not going to be too worried about it. Essentially, because I don't really feel like going over this over and over, and I can always make up something to connect in on those 2 spades in there if I had to, and I wouldn't have to use the plug-in. But it looks like it'll probably hold anyway, so no worries. Anyway, let's get this bolted up on the mower, and I'll pick you guys up from there. All right, guys, so I'll see if I can give you as much view as possible. So basically what you got right here is your top pulley assembly, which goes onto the crankshaft, and that's what powers your rear end, in this case the hydrostatic. And your electric PTO clutch mounts onto here, and this right here, this piece right here is your relief, your what do you call it, the anti-rotation. I guess it's an anti-rotation for your PTO, electric PTO clutch. So basically that when you mount this on here, it doesn't spin and rip all the wires out, and that's kind of how that works. So you want to have this orientation, and obviously you want to do your best. You know, you got 2 places where you can mount up. If you can see that, here and here. You got 2 places you can mount. We'll end up using this one by the look of it, because we need to make a connection with our plug on that side. Kind of climbing around underneath here. We'll put our belt on later on. And we'll make sure that, there we go. There it goes. It goes right there. I don't know if you guys can see that, but that's where it goes. Then you got your bolt with the washer. It's going to go in there. You're going to want to make sure that nothing is binding, that your field has some free play, and it does have free play. You don't want it to bind up either. About 50 foot-pounds of torque, which is going to be really hard because I can't hold the crankshaft at the same time. So we're going to kind of guesstimate that. And we'll give it a little zip. I'm not going to hammer away at it, but we'll give it a little zip with the impact, and that'll be good enough, basically. So there you go. We got a little bit of, like I said, got a little bit of play here. That should be good. Okay, we'll catch back up with you once the belt is on. We'll test it out. Okay, guys. So I got the mower out here, and we'll test out that clutch. So here I'll give some of you guys, maybe some of the new guys, and I'm sure I won't give any old guys any advice because old guys already have their ideas, and that's the way it is. But maybe there's some new guys or young guys that need some advice. So here's my advice to you. As you can see, my mower is not sparkly clean. It's tidy, but it's not sparkly clean. I'm not worried about grass buildup and things of that nature. I don't need to polish this mower. This mower is just a tool to get the grass cut. So like any tool, if you don't take care of that tool, it's going to fail you, or things are going to happen, and they're going to happen all of a sudden, and you're not going to be expecting them to come along. That being said, washing your mower every single time, leaving it wet every time. Usually people wash it after they're finished cutting grass, right? So if you intend to do that, that's fine. And if what gets you off is a sparkly bright deck and the nice clean mower, you can do that. That's not a problem. I got no problem with that. But I'll tell you what happens when you leave those bearings wet. When you leave that electromagnetic clutch wet, you end up getting rust inside there in the bearings, and those bearings fail, and they fail with regularity when you're intent on getting them wet. Now you're not going to avoid when you're cutting, it's damp, you're cutting and things are getting a little bit moist, but when you're pressure washing, because a lot of guys pressure wash, obviously, right, you're going to be forcing water into there and under high pressure, and it's just not good, and you'll be changing bearings. And if the trade-off for you is bearings slash sparkly clean mower, that's fine by me. If you can do your own work, go right ahead. If you got to take it in and pay 80 or 100 bucks an hour, which is kind of what it is around here, you're gonna have an empty pocketbook in a hurry. Personally, I will wash this one before I put it away, and I'll let it dry in the shop for about a week before I put it away finally for the winter, or in the late fall. And in the spring, the mower deck gets pulled off, just because you get that moisture over the winter, just from that freeze thaw, you get that moisture building up. And I'll go over the bearings again in the deck, go over that PTO in the spring. A lot of guys, they fall into this thing, right, of, well, I should change the oil in the fall because there are acids in the oil. Yeah, okay, come on now, let's not get insane about this. Change your oil. I put full synthetic in mine. I've got almost 700 hours on mine, and motor runs as good now as it did the day I started it. No failure. Again, like I say, what does fail is bearings, belts, wear parts basically. So take it for what it's worth. Like I say, also in the spring, I'll sharpen the blades. Every 2 seasons I put brand new blades on. I'll sharpen the blades, clean the deck inside and out. Midway through the summer, about late July, August, I'll pull that deck off again, check the bearings again, resharpen the blades, clean the deck again. Only really necessary to change oil once a year. For me anyway. Some of you guys, maybe you're cutting more often than I am, but I cut twice a week, and no specific schedule, but generally it is twice a week. So that's what I get up to. Anyway, let's fire this up and make sure that clutch starts. There's my advice to you new guys and young guys, and old guys. You can do whatever you want. Take the advice as good advice. That's up to you. I'm sure you got your own schedules, but let's see. I guess we should get you on some kind of a stand or something. Give me a second. I promised you guys a peek. So I drilled these out, these little rivets. They hold the brake shoe on so that when you turn the PTO off, it slows it down nice and quick. Then keep spinning. This is freed up now, so let's have a look. Let's see what we got inside here. Ooh, man, that does not look good. There's been some melting going on in there, so that obviously got hot. And I'm gonna guess it's. See if I keep you guys focused the whole time. I'm gonna say it had something to do with that bearing. I bet you that bearing spun and got really, really hot. And when that got hot, oh yeah, you can see where it's, yeah, actually chewed away at the winding. Yeah, well, there's your problem, Liz. Don't do that. Yeah, that got awfully hot in there. Whoo-wee. Now look at that key. The color of it, purple. That's been real hot. Does that separate from there? I don't know. But anyway, you can see all the, man, look at the stuff in there that's been melted in there. That bearing feels fine. The lower bearing is good. This upper, yeah, that upper is no good. It must have seized. Something would have happened, seized and spun and overheated and melted that. Sorry guys, keep zooming in a little closer. And melted that right, and then finally wore it away. So I'm guessing that it sits on the race. This half sits on the race of that bearing. And maybe it wore it away, seized, and then I'm guessing the bearing seized and then kept wearing away until this part, the electromagnet part, came in contact with the clutch part that clamps together basically, and then just wore away at the windings. So, yeah. Well, let's go in the scrap pile. Anyway, guys, that is it for tonight. I'm going to go cut that remaining piece of grass, and it's Friday night. Hope you guys have a good weekend. Hey, Adam, I was going to do the wings for you today, but I'm just not hungry. So, and I got how dirty my hands are. You want me making. Yeah. Anyway, guys, the next big food thing is a friend of mine, Adam, who goes by a different name, which I will not mention right now. He wants some wings in a special way, so we'll get around to those. I'm not sure when, probably early next week. Another cooking video, another absolutely ridiculous cooking video. Anyway, guys, have a great weekend, have a good night, and catch you later.